Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joyce and today's topic is how to draw up a realistic budget for your destination wedding. This is for you, especially when you're in the early stages trying to figure out how to prepare the budget for your destination wedding. We are going to talk particularly to brides that are looking to have a wedding off the resort in private locations. So how I'm going to actually prepare this example of a budget for you is that we're going to base it off on 50 guests. Now, this is not a wedding for somebody in an all-inclusive resort, but somebody off the resort. So I'm going to start with photography. How you can figure out what is a good or estimate a budget you want to put aside for this portion is, in my area, you can look at anything starting from $2,800 to up to $8,000. Now, again, I'm not saying you're going to pay $8,000 for your budget for your photographer. What I'm saying is these are the ideas that you can start to figuring out. Now, the difference between somebody who's charging $2,800 and somebody who's charging $8,000 is the fact that you're gonna decide the style that you are going for, and also each photographer and videographer, they come up with different types of package they can offer you. A typical wedding day in Mexico, you might be looking at spending 8 to 9 hours. Some, even if they don't have like your first looks, maybe you might get away with like a 6 hours, but a good amount of time is 8 hours. So look at the amount of hours you are looking for, and also look at the packages. Ideally, you want to look at the style as well, see if it vibes with what you're looking for, and if that's how you feel, and that's going to be your photographer. Also, now we're gonna talk about the food and the drinks portion. This part, you wanna make sure you look into, are you interested in having like a buffet or a plated? Just to give you an example of a buffet, it could start anything in like 4,500 with the 50 people, but you have to remember when it comes to your something like open bar, we might be coding you on like a national bar or an international bar. Of course, the more people you're gonna have, the more people you need to feed, the more you're gonna need to pay. The same if you want premium liquor, you're gonna pay more than somebody who's gonna be okay with like a national bar. So you find out what fits best. So you can start at the beginning estimating like a 4,500 to just start, and then from there you can accumulate. Remember these numbers depending on the business, how it's set up for each vendor. You might need to be adding some of the taxes and definitely the services on top. Now, when it comes to the music part, so DJ, of course, it is the heart of the wedding. So once the dinner is done, then that's what people will be focusing on. What's super important here is for something like your actual music, your audio, and all of the visual, which is the lighting and dance floor, you want to be looking at estimating something like a 2,500, 2,800 US dollars. And of course, this may change depending on the things you want. The other thing that I would say that I would like to recommend to you is maybe also add them for the cocktail hour, so you can eliminate or avoid paying for like a soloist. Instead, you could have like just the background music for the cocktail hour, and then that also ultimately saves you money. For the hair and makeup, especially for just you as a bride, you might be looking at something around $300, maybe $400 just for hair and makeup. Keep in mind, you're gonna need to add on top of that like your trial. It's quite common and advisable for you as a bride to do a trial depending on how many days you're gonna come into Mexico or into your destination. Do a trial, so do add those expenses in. Also, in case you are thinking of adding your bridal party services on top of it, so you want to include those expenses. Now, how you're gonna find out how to pick the right hair and makeup artist or the glam team for your wedding day? You also again want to look at the style that they're offering. Does it jam with what you are looking for? So if you go on Pinterest and you look at pictures, if you start looking at somebody who's doing the style you are going for, then that should ultimately just help you choose the person you want to go with. So the next part of it will be the wedding cake. When it comes to wedding cakes, honestly, I don't remember in all the planning years that I've seen any of my couples spend like $1,200. When it comes to a cake of 50 people, can get away with $300, depending on two parts: the style, of course, and the size. So you can budget more or less around that amount. Other thing that a lot of couples have done, especially when they are not really big on cake, just get like a smaller cake just for cutting, for presentation, and then have the baker have like a sheet cake in the back to cut. Same flavor, just not in a very decorative way. So it's up to you, but I hope this helps you. The next part is the minister. This part is where you can choose as a couple to have a closest friend or relative actually officiate the ceremony. Of course, in this way, it just cuts out that cost entirely. However, sometimes if you wanted to, you could actually have an actual minister perform the ceremony. Of course, there is like a small portion. They don't usually break the budget, an overall budget. You can expect anything between $250, $300, depending on all the details you want. Very important tip here, you want to make sure you get involved. So find out what script they're going to say, and sometimes even if you decide you want to have a symbolic ceremony, do you want it to just include love or just to include God? So you talk about it with them, you decide, but the estimation on the budget is around $200 to $250 up to $300. I haven't seen anything more than that, so that's what you can budget for. Another very important portion is your wedding attire. So from the beginning of planning, you want to establish how much exactly you want to spend when it comes to your wedding dress, and of course for your fiance's attire, whether it's just a regular suit or a tuxedo. Now this is going to also help because when you're drawing up the budget, you want to have an actual number. So also this is going to help you one day when you are ready to go shop for your dress to actually say, this is the budget I have, so then you can target dresses within that budget. Another important part when it comes to establishing your budget is when you're hiring a wedding planner or a day of coordinator. It's highly up to you what you feel more comfortable with. Of course, when it comes to destination wedding, I highly recommend you to have a wedding planner on board to do everything for you. So what you can expect when it comes to the cost for this part, let me tell you a little bit. Okay, in my area, I've noticed we have a slight gap, a slight difference, huge difference in what is each person cost. And I'm going to tell you this is based on each person's business morals and also the amount of experience they have. So you can expect anything from $2,800 up to $7,000. Now this, again, highly say to you, it's based on experience. Of course, those with more experience are going to charge a little bit more than others. At the end of the day, you want to go with someone that actually vibes with you. So you can be connected to someone who's just failing you, or somebody who is in the industry for many years. Just get somebody that vibes with you and find one who's very close to the budget you want to spend. Okay, so the last part of establishing your budget is miscellaneous. Of course, there's going to be a lot of surprises. Whether we are super prepared, there's always going to be things that come up. I call this the wish list. So the wish list or the miscellaneous part is you can decide, maybe put in anything between $1,000 to $2,000. Now in here, you're going to expect things like maybe for you want to have a late night snack, and this is where you're going to put it. Maybe you want to consider a photo booth, or maybe you want to have just like a minute fireworks. So you put all of that in the miscellaneous or the wish list. This is the things that they may be there, but they may not actually get to be happening on the wedding day. Another one that I actually feel like a lot of people are starting to kind of like just not do it anymore is the wedding favors. You can, and if you get to try and look for things that are very much like local products. Like if you're in Mexico, for example, we do a lot of maracas, something inexpensive but yet meaningful. Again, if you know that your wedding guest or your wedding group is super party people, we've got these cute little mini bottles of tequila that I love so much. That could be a very nice gesture for a wedding favor. Again, when you're starting at the beginning, you don't want to add this part in the planning, but it can be dropped in the miscellaneous part, and then from there, if there's space in the budget or there's room in the budget, you can always pick things from this list. I hope this was helpful for you. Please note, this is a super guideline based on my experience. So if there's something that may slightly differ when you are drawing up your budget, that is okay. I was just trying to give you an idea of what you can expect, especially if you are having your wedding in a private location for your destination wedding. Please note, all this that I'm sharing with you, it's guidelines. There's obviously going to be some slight difference as you are planning your own destination wedding. If you have any burning questions, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you on my next video. Take care. Bye.